want to point out that we also have someone that's here in a supportive role, so I'll let her introduce herself. I wanted to point that out. And as a facilitator, what I was hoping we could do is just go around briefly for quick introductions. And then as far as the agenda, the goal of the meeting is for community members to be able to communicate more fully your perspective and your opinion and things that you'd like to convey to the electeds. So that can happen in a couple of ways. One, we can just have you free to speak. That's great. Another is we can coordinate a few issues that you definitely want to talk about. Or three, you can each take turns speaking. And I just want to check in and see what felt most comfortable for the folks that are here.
Can you make sure that nobody who's like a dominant style personality, which might be even me, kind of takes over the meeting? Like if it gets out of balance, could we have a way of doing a timeout to restore a sense of order so we all can be heard?
How do folks think about that? What do you think about that?
Sure.
What's a good way for us to communicate that with each other? Can we raise our hand?
Okay. T for timeout.
Anyone feel they can honor that? Okay, thanks, man. Well, let's do introductions. We can think about how we want to handle the agenda. But just briefly, my name is Brad Taylor, and I'm a mental health specialist with the city. I've been asked to invite all of you folks to come and also to facilitate the meeting. And why don't we go this way? As you go.
I'm Mary Holcup, everyone in the city government.
Amanda Fitzpatrick, City Council.
Charlie Hills, Mayor.
Robert West, Film the Police 911.
David Keefe Davis, Multnomah County Cop Watch and Fight the Sweeps.
Lightning Watchdog PDX.
Charles Johnson.
I'm
Occupy Me.
Mary Rose Lenore Eng, and I have green tea vitamin things with B vitamins. If anyone's feeling B vitamin deprived, they're really nice.
Hi, my name is Lisa Haynes.
Okay, so any thoughts on how you want to proceed as far as an agenda? We can have just a conversation, or someone can propose a way to go about it. Mary?
I have a few issues. It might take me, I think, about 5 to hit a few of them. But I will go first and no one else will.
So Mary's suggesting maybe people go one at a time and just kind of go through whatever's on their mind.
I think that's a good way for us to kind of give mindfulness to each person. We might not reach all their issues during the time we talk, but maybe get some things out and you can all take kind of a personal responsibility about prioritizing what we do and need to speak about.
Any other comments on that?
I just wanted to point out that Brad asked me to take notes, and I like to take notes anyway, so that's why I'm curious as to what.
Right. Did you have something to say?
Nope, just that sounds good.
And you're comfortable starting, Mary?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, I'm going to show off my name badge first here. This is Mary Eng Breakout 3 from a UCLA law conference, the 28th Amendment, that was put on with one of my favorite Harvard law professors, Lord Schleswig, and he talks about corruption and politics. Really awesome guy. One of his most pivotal articles he wrote was an article called The Prosecutor as Bully, which I would allege went on in the case of Benjamin Pickering. It also is going on now with people like Rob West and David Keefe Davis and Charles Johnson for the suppression they have felt in what has been perceived as a Kafkaesque, Stalin-esque repression of their speaking rights and their rights to petition their government. So the Prosecutor as Bully article really opens up the notion that we can have prosecutorial misconduct or some kind of cultural translation that needs to go on to advocate for people who are being pushed to the brink of suicide or some other despair that they might find under unfair prosecution. So one of my main points right now is that in the wake of the Joe Cox killing in England, I think there's never been a greater time to get rid of Mark Kruger from the Portland Police Force. I am very concerned from a national security angle. I've brought this up numerous times. To me, after almost dying when Benjamin Pickering almost snapped my neck on June 2nd, has been very transformative. I've had a lot of spiritual realizations, and one of them is that I need to be activated as an activist. Like, I have to make every moment count, and this issue has bothered me a long time. I personally feel like my life is on the line when I enter your chambers because of the risk he puts on our government with issues. Oh, wait.
Sorry about that.
Correct.
Disruptive.
The assassination of Anna Lindh was a famous assassination in Stockholm that I followed, or the assassination of Olof Palme. And I'm very concerned that our failure to assess security threats And in terms of Mark Kruger, he's a violation of ADA. The Americans with Disability Act is being violated when a disabled person is scared to go to the neo-Nazi to report their sex crime. It could affect Civil Rights Act, Title IX. It can affect African Americans who maybe have a crime and they don't feel safe going to a man who's promised wanting to support eugenics and extermination, mass extermination of Portland citizens. We are being written about on an international basis by a neo-Nazi website that is internationalized, and that is Stormfront. The .de in the domain name registry is banned in Germany because they are considered such a serious terrorist threat. And I think we're very much up in arms about ISIS in Orlando and that sort of thing. But we need to take the neo-Nazi threat as it has infiltrated. They are bragging on Stormfront, neo-Nazi magazine, that the neo-Nazis have invaded the Portland police. There are numerous problems, as with the Rat's Tail article, which David Keith Davis has brought up at the CRC committee. I'm also concerned from a workplace workers' rights advocacy standpoint that someone like James Young has been hired as a sort of an ingenue into the Portland way of doing things, and he is not sure why he's taking the fall with the baptism and this holy splash of holy water in his face, which essentially has provided a conversation opener to the larger issue of why the city of Portland would perpetrate this crime upon him that puts his life at risk, puts him up as a patsy to take a fall for a neo-Nazi. I basically threw him into my best, like, bottom basement of the Pentagon interrogation in terms of, do you support an enemy terrorist organization? Are you a neo-Nazi? Do you support the United States of America? His whole head was going on.
May I ask a clarifying question?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Who is James Young?
James Young is a figurehead dignitary in the CRC, which is the appellate body of the IPR. It is our understanding that IPR is a spy agency. All information harvested at IPR will be used against you in federal court. So that itself, we are supposed to say, oh, Portland's so great because we have this great, system of multiple bureaucracies. But the people have no faith in those bureaucracies because we've seen the damage done through the city attorney's office. Next issue, I really feel like you guys did Benjamin Pickering a disservice in putting a non-professional, non-registered, non-psychologist, non-nurse, non-lawyer on his case. The fact that it had to come to my life being almost lost for him to get a slot in Oregon State Hospital. He was on the brink of going to the Oregon State Hospital right before Dr. Fritz's death. And it was a very strange moment of the defense attorney minimizing my concerns, the judge erring on the side of a libertarian value of like the Olmstead Act and, oh, everyone should be as free as they want to terrorize. My mother and I were literally terrorized by his brain injury symptoms, his chronic traumatic encephalopathy type symptoms, and they frequently result in murder-suicide, which is a place he tried to take me numerous times. And you guys aren't the only ones who know this. The other people who know this are the Multnomah commissioners. And my standpoint with them on Thursday was, how about I just take all the blame? And if you guys want to help me out or reach out to me, that would be nice. But how about I just take the blame now, and we'll see if anybody else, and then I can just say the buck stops here. It's my fault. It's always the woman's fault that she's almost killed, that she's, many times he was on suicide by cop. I refrained from calling the police until I could get him de-escalated. If anything, I cherished my educational experience in dealing with radically violent, assaultive, mentally ill type behavior, but I know that no mental hospital would have cut me, left me in that position. I would have had tech support, I would have had backup, I would have had security, I would have had bulletproof glass. And this whole absence of any kind of intervention, I mean, I know you're lucky, you're happy that I'm alive, and I am too. And I'm happy that he's getting the care he needs, but it didn't have to come to this, and I view it as sort of a great tragedy, if not malicious. I hope it wasn't malicious. I want to think that everyone's a good person and has a good heart. It's very difficult to deal with that. That'll be enough for now.
Thank you, Mary. You shared a lot, and I appreciate that. Are you wanting something in the form of response from any of us, or how would you like us to do it?
I mean, we're the ones who are alleged to not have our voices heard. I mean,
I
if you
just
want to
meant to the,
say,
I didn't know if you wanted the group to have a chance to reflect on what you said, or just
I think we should all go give our own spiel
Okay,
about
thanks.
our own
I just didn't want
stuff.
to move on.
Yeah, no, it's not disruptive. I
Okay.
don't mind it.
Thank you. Someone feel like they want to go next?
Well, I'll go next, I guess. And my understanding why we're here is about the CRC
And co-op.
Not just about
and COEB. And the way COEB's been treating Keefe is just ridiculously bad. Trying to get people to only videotape in their media box is ridiculous. We need to figure out the best way that we can, that COEB can exist. And we have to figure out how it can represent the whole community and not part of the community. Just the meeting before the one that went all haywire, Stenson got after or Stenson got upset because
Tom Steenson.
Tom Steenson got upset because there was 2 people that were sent to a meeting with the Department of Justice. One guy is known to bully the public, and the other guy is part of the Portland Business Alliance. You know, 2 people in which the activist community really don't like. And I was shocked when I heard that what was sent there. I mean, that's not a representative of the community, that's a representative of the business community. And so that's what I think